Today is Sunday, April 19th, and welcome to episode 19 of the In the Huddle podcast. I'm your host, Kane White. We're just a week removed from one of the coolest sports days of the year in the United States of America. You had Ty Gibbs winning his first ever NASCAR Cup Series race at Bristol Motor Speedway, a tough place to win your first ever NASCAR Cup Series race. So hats off to the young man, Ty Gibbs, in the 54 machine, knocking off his first NASCAR Cup Series win. But more importantly, sadly, even though you all know I'm a huge NASCAR guy, more importantly, we had the Masters at Augusta National, where Rory McIlroy capped off an impressive performance, winning the Masters for the second time in a row. His second green jacket, only the fourth person to win it in back-to-back years. Hats off to Rory, man. What an impressive deal. He was dominant last Sunday, all of last weekend for the most part. In my opinion, his second best performance of the year, other than his showcase in the movie Happy Gilmore 2. Obviously, that's a joke. Hats off to Roy, man, on winning the Masters in back-to-back years. I'm roughly 24 minutes removed from hopping off of Interstate 55 with my beautiful wife, Taylor. We just got back from Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Last night, we attended Morgan Wallen's Still the Problem tour at Saban Field at Bryant-Denny Stadium on the beautiful campus of the University of Alabama. My first time down there, Tuscaloosa and the University of Alabama. Beautiful place to go. What a night that was, man. Only the fourth concert in the 97-year history of Bryant-Denny Stadium. Morgan Wallen and his openers, Ella Langley, Zach John King, and Vincent Mason joined the likes of Hank Williams Jr., Jerry Lee Lewis, and the band Alabama as some of the only people to ever perform at Bryant-Denny Stadium. The first concert in that stadium since 1992. That joint sits 100,077 people for an Alabama home football game. I'm very eager to see the attendance report, whether the university puts that out or Morgan Wallen's crew. I think it had to be pushing over 90,000. That place was jam-packed. An electric atmosphere, man. It's the ninth time I've seen Morgan Wallen since 2019. I'm a fanboy, man. His music just does something to me. I've talked about it a bunch. He's a heck of a performer, and I try to go see him as much as I can, and I knew I couldn't pass up this opportunity to go see him at a venue like Bryant-Denny Stadium. But before we even get to Morgan Wallen, Ella Langley was a showstopper, man. Ella Langley, she's kind of on top of the game right now. She's got the number one song in the United States right now in Choosing Texas. Man, she's got some extremely talented vocals. She sounds maybe even better live than she does on record. I don't even know how that works, but she knocked it out of the park, man. But I'll be honest, in the 9 times that I've seen Morgan Wallen, I think last night takes the cake. The energy in that stadium, man, was off the charts, and it just started from the jump, man. I knew it was special. For those of you that don't know Morgan Wallen, he walks out with a celebrity or an athlete or someone that's tied in with the venue or the city that he's in. And Tuscaloosa, that's a tough one because all you've really got is the University of Alabama for the most part. There's no pro sports teams in Alabama. I had a feeling. I knew who his walkout guest was going to be. I had a feeling that he was going to somehow get the GOAT out there, and he pulled it off. I don't know how, but he did. One of the namesakes of the stadium, Nick Saban, one of the greatest college football coaches of all time, if not the greatest football coach of all time, walks out with Morgan Wallen to start the show, and that place erupted. Probably the loudest it got all night is when Coach Saban popped on the screen there with Morgan Wallen. That set the energy bar at like a crazy high level for the entire night. And the fans kept the energy up there, with the group of people that we were around, even though it was tight quarters, nobody did anything too crazy. It was such an enjoyable concert to go to, man. I'm looking forward to going and seeing him again soon. I'm ready for that 10th one. Going to knock that 10th one off the list at some point. But, hats off to Morgan Wallen. Speaking of hats, got that pretty sweet little hat there last night. That's called the Norris Bear hat. Some pretty cool merch he has, but thank you, Morgan Wallen, for putting on a heck of a show and creating an experience that all 90,000 plus people, I'm sure, enjoyed as much as I did. So Moving on to our guest for episode 19. I'm convinced that every young man that graces this earth needs a role model that's God-fearing, that's faith-driven, that can shoot you straight, that's maybe not related to you or in your family. And I've got one of those in my guest today. He, for the last 10 years, has been an instrumental part of my life. He's a family man. He loves his kids and his wife. He's a sports fanatic, the Dallas Cowboys, the Kentucky Wildcats, 25 years in law enforcement, molding future police officers, and also spending some time as a chief of police in my hometown of Truman, Arkansas. Today's guest, time to get in the huddle with Mr. Jon Redman. So we spent Easter together because our families, we typically spend holidays together. That's how close we are. Yeah. And I noticed, man, you slimmed down a ton, but I didn't realize until you made your Facebook post this week how much you've lost, man. How? What's the magic sauce?
Man, I struggle with my weight. I mean, I've always been a bigger guy, so I kind of go up and down. I've tried everything out there, and I got sick back in September. And I have a kidney disease, and so I got sick and was put in the hospital. And I actually I called your mom and Johnny. They got me on the phone, and they were chewing me out and telling me that, hey, you need to start taking your kidney medicine. Your blood pressure's too high. You need to do this. And so I got them some good medication that brought my blood pressure down, and so and it also helped me with my sleep apnea. So it's kind of one that kind of like kickstarted everything for me. And so I don't eat very much now. I just kind of eat breakfast in the morning, maybe some like yogurt or something for breakfast, and then eat a bigger lunch. And then at dinner I don't eat very much. And so I just kind of portion control for me is the biggest thing. And I was a carnivore for about 3 years.
Yes,
and nothing but meat, and that was probably the greatest thing I ever did. But then after a while, it just kind of, I started getting tired of eating meat all the time. That's the only thing I could eat.
Right.
And so, and the meat prices went up during COVID. So,
this is true. That did.
So that was, when it starts hitting you in the pocketbook, at $19 a steak, and that's when you cook at home.
Right.
And then, so I kind of got off of it, and with my job, it was a high stress job. And so I think kind of, in that, when I changed jobs, that really took a lot of stress off of my shoulders, and it motivated me to be more healthy.
That's right.
So
awesome.
I'm down 48, and
let's go.
Hopefully going to lose 20 or 30 or maybe 40 more. I told my wife yesterday I'm getting down to 180, and she goes, I don't think you would look very good at 180. I was like, I've always been a big guy, so I probably would be super skinny at 180.
Hey, if you get to 180, that's my goal.
Yeah.
But hey, going to Mom and Johnny for medical advice, that was probably a good call.
Man, they're not doctors, but they sure know a lot.
Yes, they do.
So and they're not afraid to shoot me straight. And
that's
so
right.
I knew hearing from them that they weren't gonna going to tell me anything wrong. It was going to be exactly what I needed to hear, and I was happy they were there, and I could confide in them. So. Yeah, that's I was actually thinking about that when I was driving over here today. I said, I hope you asked me that question, because it was like, they're pretty important to me,
awesome.
And so first of all, I want to congratulate you. I know this is about me, but I want to talk about you for a minute. I'm really proud of your career, man.
Thank you.
I talk about you quite a bit, actually, outside of here. I don't know if you know that or not, but I'm proud of your accomplishments. And now you got the podcast, and you love being a coach. And that's a big deal. That's a big deal. I think a lot of the pros, if you ask them who's the most influential person in their life, that's usually going to be a high school coach, especially football players.
Of course.
And so proud of you. Proud of all your accomplishments. You're married now. We need a few little Kane Whites running around.
I'm ready.
You ready?
I'm ready right now.
You ready right now?
Let's go. I'm ready to get it done. But her in nurse practitioner school.
Gonna
take it easy. But man, thank you. That means so much coming from you. And we'll talk about what you've meant to my life in a little bit. But that coming from you is really special.
Yeah.
And, I'm in a great spot. I'm super happy.
Yeah.
And, people probably get tired of me saying it, especially on here. It's like, it's probably the happiest I've ever been.
Yeah.
Just because I've figured out like the balance and where I want my life and career to go. And I'm glad I got that figured out at around 27.
That's it, man. So that's what, once you figure that out, I want to be a police officer since I was 8 years old. I didn't know that. My whole life, that's all I ever wanted to do would be a police officer. Seriously, so my parents, my dad's a preacher, my mom's was a Christian school teacher, and we didn't have TV in our house. And so dad didn't want a TV raising the kids and blah, blah, blah. So we spent most of our time outside playing war and playing. So whenever I would go to my buddy's house, there was a show called Cops that was always on.
Of course.
And I was enamored by it, man, because I never got to watch TV. And so it was always like, hey, so I'd go in the house, and they'd be like, hey, let's go play outside. I'm like, but Cops is on. And so
why are you sweating? Watch the Cops.
From then, and I remember at 8, I decided that's what I wanted to do. And we also lived in a small town in Missouri, and my dad, I drank Kool-Aid all the time. And
I do love Kool-Aid.
So whenever I would drink Kool-Aid, I'd get a Kool-Aid mustache. And we'd drive past the Campbell Police Department, Campbell, Missouri, and he'd say,
"Go Camels!"
Yeah, go Camels. Yeah. And he said, those officers are going to arrest you. You don't get that mustache, that Kool-Aid mustache. And so as a kid, I remember I used to hide in the floorboard. You didn't wear seatbelts back then. And I used to hide in the floorboard, afraid that the cops were going to arrest me because of my Kool-Aid mustache.
That's hilarious.
And then I actually remember when I was 8 years old, I remember thinking, I'm going to arrest kids for Kool-Aid mustaches. That's what I'm going to do. And so I'm going to be the guy arresting them. And so, I went to college and got a degree. And as soon as I graduated college, I went to the JPD, and I'm in my 25th year now.
That's incredible, man. 25 years. Congratulations. That's the silver anniversary? Is that right?
I think so.
Silver anniversary.
Yeah, we don't get to retire till we're 28. So I got three more years. So.
Hey, us too.
Teachers. Yeah.
But that's really incredible. And I've had a few people say that they've wanted to do whatever they're doing right now since they were, 5, 6, 7, 8 years old. But when you were 8, you wanted to decide to be a cop. And you just stuck to that, man. That's awesome.
Yeah. And it's always been a dream of mine. And I want to be a chief of police, and I accomplished that dream. I wanted to be a law enforcement instructor, and that's what I'm doing now. So, it's like that. And people, of course I come from a Christian home, but people often ask me, man, why don't you drink alcohol? Why don't you do any of that stuff growing up? It's because my whole life, number one, my dad would have killed me. Number two is the only thing I ever wanted to do was be a cop. And I didn't want to mess that up.
Right.
And I knew if I drank underage or even got out here and started drinking and became addicted to it, then that would hurt my cop career. So,
of course,
in my police career. So that's why I never did it. That's one of the reasons I never did it. Still have never done it. So, of course, you've been around me. People got to drink to keep up with me. You know what I'm saying? Everybody thinks I'm the drunkest person at the party. I'm just having a good time, man. I'm high on life.
He's never had a sip, and he's just letting it rip.
I'm just
that's so awesome. That's incredible that you had that vision. You stuck to your guns and just stayed, an even kill baseline to get where you are now.
Yeah, absolutely.
And man, that's a testament to your hard work and your faith. And so, man, hats off to you on that. So, well, I'm here with my friend Jon Redman. Of course, we talked about him in the intro. He's been such a big influence in my life the past 10 years. You might not know how much you've impacted me, but just seeing how you raise your kids, see how you've treated my family and the way you've led. I think you're a leader of my family too, along with maybe myself, my stepdad, and my father, of course. But man, you're such an important figure in my life, and I'm so glad you're here to join me today. So thank you for coming. But you talked about that you were a chief of police, in my hometown of Truman. But now you've chosen a different career path, and so talk about what that looks like.
My mom is a teacher, and she always wanted a teacher. And my brother never became one. My sister never became one, and she always wanted a teacher. And I kind of enjoy the academia part of law enforcement as well.
Okay.
So when the opportunity come up, I was like, there's not very many opportunities to teach at the police academy. Usually you get there and you stay a long time till you retire. And so some of the academy instructors are going to start to retire here pretty soon. But I had an opportunity, and I didn't want it to pass me by. And it's something that I really thought that the Lord was kind of leading me in that direction to be an instructor. And so that's what I do now. I teach police academy. I'm at the Black River Technical College, the Law Enforcement Training Academy in Pocahontas.
Right up the road there from Hoxie.
Yeah, not too far from Hoxie. Yeah, right. And We teach 2 academy classes a year, and my primary focus is constitutional law, and as well as like report writing. I was in the drug task force when I was in Jonesboro PD, so I teach drug enforcement as well,
Awesome.
and some different ones like radar class, and I really enjoy it. I mean, what I like the most is I've surrounded myself there at the police academy with kind of like you with my friends, the guys that taught me. One of the instructors, Mark Moser, he was my instructor. I went to a police academy. And others that are there, so I get to hang out with those guys every day.
Right.
And so instructors are kind of like coaches, man. You learn from them just by hanging out talking. We'll drink coffee in the morning, and I'm learning all this stuff that I didn't know about law enforcement, and so. I think that's a secret to law enforcement as well. Is you act like a rookie all the time, where you're always learning.
Yes.
You're never going to quit learning, and so that's what I appreciate about the instructors that are there now. And so on top of that, I get to instruct. Man, I love teaching, and law enforcement has changed in my 25 years.
Of course.
I mean, we went from no body cameras to body cameras. We went to no computers in the car to computers in the car. Mm-hmm. And so it's like everything's kind of technical. And I guess I'm kind of a nerd when it comes to that, because I love that part of law enforcement. Yes. I really do. And a lot of people don't. And so as soon as I walk in up there and they learned, the director, Jared Bassam, learned that I was a tech guy. He goes, "Well, you're our tech guy now." And so, I was like, "Great, that's what I love to do."
Man, we're many hats.
Yeah, I love that. So, just kind of molding the lives of new police officers. Kind of give them. And I call it my golden nuggets. I'll drop a little golden nugget every now and then to kind of help them through. And so. There's several different types of police officers. Some like me who this is all they've ever wanted to do, and then there's some that, hey, I'm just a job. I'm just going to try it out and see if I like it. Well, those usually don't last very long, because it's not like you see on TV. I mean, we're not driving fast and kicking in doors and pointing guns at people every day.
Correct.
The crazy stuff that you see. We don't do that. Most of the time we're typing reports.
Exactly.
So which is fun to a certain extent. I enjoy that, but. Not everybody enjoys that. So, but yeah, where I'm at now, a lot less stressful than my other job,
of course.
And I think that probably helps with my weight loss as well.
Right.
I went down from 1 phone to 2 phones, and now my phone barely rings, which is great as well. So,
and back then I didn't know which number of years to call, because I had both numbers. I'm like, let's see, which one is it? I can't remember.
I mean, it's just, it's so I'm. My life has changed a little bit, but I love it. I get to spend more time with my family, and the Lord's blessed me there. So
it's so interesting that you say this, because you've made like 3 points that I can directly relate to. One, your why you're in this is to mold the future. Right. And that's exactly why I'm in coaching. It's not to go win games or championships or, the money, obviously. It's you get to be a part of something that's much bigger than yourself.
Yeah.
And that's so important in this day and age.
Yeah.
Because who knows what the next generation is going to look like.
That's right.
Look at how much we've progressed in the past 15 years.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
And so that's super important that we have the blessing to do that. And
for sure.
I really enjoy, being able to mold young lives. But you also said that you were in a good spot in your career and you really enjoyed being a chief of police, but you take a different angle, and now your stress goes down. That was kind of me going from college or high school to college, back to high school. The stress goes down, and you kind of refine your purpose. And so, man, that's we get along very well, and we have a lot in common. Some things not so much, but right there, that's even I've learned that we have more in common now, like our why.
Absolutely. So that's important. That's important. I think that once people understand and learn their why, it just makes it a lot easier.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't really, and police work, coach work, especially high school coaches, like you mentioned the money, we do it for free, man. We would do it for free, but we got to pay our bills. Right. So, it's like, it's not, if you're chasing a dollar, and that's part of this generation too, of police officers, they'll change jobs for a dollar an hour, they'll go somewhere else because of that, and so, I think that, I try to teach them out of that. I'm like, hey, find your people at your police department, go out and do the Lord's work, and do work there. And don't be going from department to department, because that's, it's like starting all over,
Exactly.
And so, but
I've been there.
But yeah, I know. And I've changed too. And now I'm third place I'm at now in my career. So I kind of understand it. But, I did almost 15 years at Jonesboro PD. And which I cut my teeth there. I owe most of everything I know about law enforcement to the officers of Jonesboro PD. But we had a really good core group of guys, and that went out there, and we weren't street gods or anything like that, but we thought we were.
Right.
We thought we were out there running the streets and doing. It didn't matter, if aliens landed on Nettleton. If I had somebody with me, we were good.
Right.
It was like that's how we were back then. So, but understanding that you're not going to get paid very much to do the job, but you are doing a very important job, just like coaching teaching.
Absolutely, no doubt.
So
you spend how many years as the chief of police at the TPD?
So in 2021 is when I became the chief of police, and I was there till 2025. But I came to Truman PD as the deputy chief of police in 2015. So I was there almost a total of 10 years at the Truman Police Department.
Gotcha. Yeah. So as the chief of police, I can kind of relate it to being a head coach. I was a head coach for 3 years, chief of police for 4 or 5.
Yeah.
What was that like leading your own team and calling the shots? Did you enjoy that, or do you enjoy taking the backseat more?
January 1st of 2021, I sat down in the chief's chair, and I remember thinking, what am I going to do now?
Right.
And that had happened to me once before after I'd gone through. So I went 4 years of college, and then I went 12 weeks of police academy, and then 12 weeks of training on the street with a field training officer. And I remember having that same feeling sitting in my police car the first night. And I was like, well, what do I do now?
Right.
And so I've been there before. And so I sat there, and Chief Chad Henson was my chief when I got to Truman, and I was his deputy chief. And I owe a lot of everything I know about him, about being police chief, to him. I mean, he did a phenomenal job in teaching me how to do it and doing the job as well. And now, of course, he's the chief of Paragould. He wanted to jump back into it again for some reason. What he taught me, and so that's that. So day one, I was so proud to be the chief.
Of course.
My wife took some pictures of me, and it's like, I still have those pictures. But it was like, now I've gotten here. I've gotten to the pinnacle of where I want to be in my career. Now I just have to do the work. And so what I really tried to concentrate on was the people, the people that work for me, And so I wanted to make sure I didn't really feel like the police anymore. I wasn't going out and making arrests. I wasn't making drug arrests. I wasn't doing the investigations. It was my job to manage the police, make sure that they knew exactly what they needed to know about the job, or if they had all the equipment they needed, get new cars. And so I tell people a lot of times now, I have a master's degree in criminal justice, but I probably should have got it in business or finance, because most of what I dealt with as a chief was budget.
Right.
And so my budget, and make sure we stay within budget, and we're able to buy the equipment and give the pay raises and all that stuff, and deal with the city council and the mayor, and make sure, of course, I'm in the budget meeting looking for money, and trying to get more money for my guys and girls, and so that was I kind of led from. I wanted to lead from the front, in that, they knew I was there, and if they needed me, I was there to help them no matter what.
Right.
Of course, I would come out on investigations. Obviously, I wasn't leading those, but I was responsible. And so I was responsible for everything that happened, and so I was. It was the pinnacle of my career at that point. And I wanted to be the best chief that I could be. And the only way I knew how to do that was to make sure that I put those officers first in everything.
And that's kind of the way that I attacked being a head coach. And it was more of putting my players first, of course, and heck, budget. I was looking at, can I get them the best swag and all that stuff, and the nicest helmets.
It's similar for sure.
And I wish I had taken my first few months as a head coach the way you took your first, few days or months as chief.
Yeah.
I was not the best delegator.
Yeah.
I felt like I had to go do everything, on my own, or, lead everything. But it took an assistant coach who was older than me shaking me and saying, let me fill up the water cooler.
Right.
Like, you go play and practice. I'm like, okay, that's right. That's right. And that's super important. And so,
and I that took me a while as well, because it's like you want to kind of audit everything that's going on.
Right.
You want to know what everything is going on, and you want to make sure that they're doing it right. And if there's anything, I was always about efficiency. If we were doing something that was inefficient, and you had a better idea of efficiency, then let's do it that way.
Yes.
As long as we're within the legal policy and parameters of the police department and the state laws, then let's do it that way. I wasn't ever locked into, hey, that's just how we always did it.
Correct.
Because you say that, then you're not going to be progressive.
And you get stagnant.
And I'm a pretty conservative guy, but I was very progressive in those types of things. I wanted to make sure that we were being the most efficient. And that's why we had to have the best equipment. That's why we had to hire the best officers that we could hire. And again, if people would come to me and say, "Hey, Chief, let me help you out with this." But I did fall from time to time. I would fall into the idea of, well, I can get it done faster if I just do it.
Right.
And it gets, instead of me sitting here trying to teach you how to do it, but that's not the way that it needs to be done.
Correct.
Because guess what? I'm eventually going to leave, and I did leave. And so now, if I hadn't taught them how to do it, then nobody's going to know, because I was kind of gatekeeping that. And so I kind of had to learn that as a young chief as well. To, hey, just don't hesitate to delegate, because that's exactly what they're there for.
Right.
And I even had some of them say, "Hey, man, you're paying me to do this. Let me do it."
Right.
And I'm okay. I got you. Copy direct.
No doubt.
Yeah. And just like you were saying, so yeah, that's very important, and it's hard to do a lot of times, especially when you're trying to make sure that everything, because once everything is now on your shoulders, no matter what happens, it's like you're in bed asleep when somebody has to chase somebody, or somebody has to use force on somebody, and now the next morning it's going to hit your desk, and they're going to blame you everything. They're going to blame you no matter what. They're going to blame you for the loss.
Exactly.
It's like, and we'll talk about Cody later in her golf. When she would hit a bad shot, and she would blame me.
Right.
for over coaching her, and I'm like, "Hey, listen,
coach."
I'm like, "Hey, listen, I didn't hit that shot. You hit that shot."
Right.
And so it's like when they start to, and you're now responsible, and so that was kind of a I guess an adjustment period for me, but yeah, we worked through it. I got a lot of good people.
At 23, 24, 25 years old, it was tough to take it, right off the chin.
You were a young coach.
And take ownership of things that went wrong. And but I felt like I did that, and will continue to do that if I ever get there again, or if something goes wrong in my position group.
Right.
And then you get back at it and you try to do it better next time. But
That's right.
I really love what you said about different ways of thinking and being efficient.
Yeah.
I hate wasting time. And if
too.
we can get something done quicker, but still get it done right. That being open-minded in any field you're in, I think, is important as well, as long as you stay within the parameters, like you said.
That's right. Yeah. I mean, if you got a better way, then let's do it. Let's do it that way. If it doesn't work out that way, then we can always go back to the old way. But at least we're moving forward. Absolutely. At least trying to move forward. Yeah.
During your time as the chief of police, or just at the TPD in general, was there a day that sticks out, or a moment that sticks out, something great and grand that happened?
It was probably the day we found Arissa. There was a girl that went missing back in 2018, and just disappeared. Just didn't know where she was. 16-year-old girl. And what had happened is she'd been talking to some pretty bad people online, and we were able to track her down through some digital evidence stuff and found her in O'Neill, Nebraska, which is about 16 hours from here.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, and we were able to rescue her, get her back here, and get her some help. And but that when a kid goes missing, that's tough.
It's different.
That's tough. It's different. And luckily, I was well connected to a group called the National Child Protection Task Force, and he Kevin Metcalf's the guy's name, and he did a phenomenal job because we didn't know a whole lot about that type of investigation. So investigations have changed over the years. Used to like a missing kid, what you're going to do? Well, she wasn't really a kid; she was a teenager, but you're going to knock on all the doors. You're going to try to talk to people, try to talk to all of our friends. Well, now it's all digital. It's digital.
Right.
Everything's digital. And we did, at the time, we were not really aware of how to do all that stuff. And so we actually were able to, we used what they call a geofence warrant. And so through Google, and I don't know if you notice or not, but
I do not.
Every step you take, Google tracks you.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did not know that.
Yeah.
My goodness.
So as a law enforcement, we or something like that in an emergency situation, we can actually get warrants for that to try to figure out where you are. And so she had gotten rid of her phone. She didn't want to be found, and but we actually found who she was with and was able to get a geofence coordinates on his phone. and we found her in Nebraska, and FBI went and picked her up, and that was a big day because it's a big win, when you find a missing kid, and then just of course, the day I got promoted was a great day.
Yeah.
But that's just selfish of me. But I like promoting other people too. It's like those are big days as well. When officers get promoted. But case wise, that one, and then I also was a part of the City Sutherland case. I don't know if you ever remember that.
I do.
That the girl that got ran over. She was out running grubs. I was working with the FBI. It's like a task force that they have in Jonesboro at the time. And we were able to use some digital evidence to locate her phone, and then actually we were able to locate her body as well through digital evidence.
Right.
And I'm not an expert on it, but I know a lot about it. I know a lot of people that know a lot about it. So
Right.
That's it. It's kind of like when it comes to that stuff. I mean, it's growing all the time, and stuff changes. And so that was a big case that we worked, and also I was able to help the state police arrest a serial killer. And that was a big day as well.
No doubt.
But those aren't really connected to Truman, but those are some big cases that I was involved in.
Of course, those are all incredible stories. And
Yeah.
I want to go back to the missing teen. I mean, I couldn't imagine if that was one of my players. And now when I do have kids, I mean,
Right.
You made somebody's life so much better.
Yeah.
Well, multiple people, her
Yeah.
family, her,
Yeah.
that's an incredible story, man.
Yeah.
And thank you for
Yeah,
that. I mean,
yeah.
I don't even know her, but thank you.
It was a great day when we found her, and we were high fiving, and it was just that investigation. Most of us were sitting around on laptops and just trying to go through some digital evidence to try to track her down. And so that was kind of my first case that I used those types where I was involved in that type of evidence. And so, man, we've used a lot since then,
Right.
and man, it's good. It was a good deal. It was a good day.
You said 2018, right? So that's kind of that almost transitional period. I would say 2014 or 2018 is when the technology and social media boom happens.
Absolutely.
And so, that was, kind of early on in that. And so that's
this girl was a genius when it came to computers. She in the robotics class at Jonesboro High School. She knew how to hide, and she wanted to hide at that point in her life. And of course, she got some help, and she's doing great now, from what I hear.
super.
I haven't seen her in years, but that was we got a lot of kids out there. They get involved with people online, and they think a better life somewhere else than what they have. And as soon as they get gone, then they realize that they made a mistake.
The grass is pretty green in Northeast Arkansas.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. So, and I try to caution kids when I do speak to groups of kids. Say, hey, be careful, and caution parents. Be careful who they're talking to online, because you never know. This guy was a sex offender, and was not a good guy to be talking to.
Right.
So,
well, man, I'm super glad that you saved her.
It was a lot of hard work, man, and we were there. I just happened to be kind of a cog in that wheel there that day, and kind of helped out. And man, it was we had a lot of people working on it. I mean, from the FBI down to all of us, and man, that's one of my best days in law enforcement.
Man, that's such a great story.
Yeah.
And so you've done countless things in law enforcement in your job, and now teaching people that want to be in law enforcement.
Right.
You've done a fantastic job, but something else that you've done a fantastic job on in your life is raising your kids.
Yeah.
And I love all three of them dearly. Yeah. Bub's going to be a heck of a football player, man. I think I compare him to little Mike Allstott right now.
Yeah, he is. He's strong. He's so strong. I mean, he loves the gym. He's absolutely in love with the gym. And my kids are the best thing I ever did. I mean, I could accomplish everything in my law enforcement career, and I would still say that my kids were the best thing I ever did. I got a loving wife. I mean, we've been happily married for 5 years, and we've been married for 20, but only 5 of us been happy.
Shout out to Tara. We love you.
Hey, and that's not 5 in a row. That's like 15 minutes here and 30 minutes. No, I'm just kidding. That's what I always say, try to get a laugh. But she's awesome. She puts up with me. I mean, being a law enforcement wife is tough as well.
Of course.
The constant worry, constant concern, and we've had she had a heck of a journey with her brother, Eric Smallwood, getting killed in Iraq.
Yes.
And another brother dying of some injuries that he got when he was in Iraq. And so just, that's a whole story. Many you heard some,
right.
She's got some great stories as well. But, my kids, they're my peace, they are, when I get home, even when I was in law enforcement, I actually was out there on the street. When I got home, it was always, when they were little babies, I would go to the room and I'd pick them up and hold them because, it's like, and we see a lot of things,
Yes,
especially, it was always tough. I remember working a triple fatal where a few kids died on the interstate. And my kids were almost the same age. And man, you just that day, you go home and you still got blood on your boots, but you're holding your kid. It just makes the whole world just kind of just go away when you look at you'll get that one of these
I'm
days.
ready.
I never believed in love at first sight. And of course until I had Taylor when we were Taylor's my stepdaughter,
right?
But when Dakota was born, it's like she's just a crying red, baby, and I was in there because Tara had a C-section, so I was in there when she had her, and and then you just hold her for the first time, and you're just like, I'm in love with this person,
right?
And then the second thought is, I'm responsible for keeping this person alive.
Correct.
What am I going to do now?
Yes.
And so because Taylor was 4 when we got married, 3 or 4, and so we were. So I didn't have that experience with her, but I had it with Cody and Warren, and so yeah, man, my kids are great. Cody being 17 now, and Warren is 14, and Taylor just turned 25, so she's getting older as well. So, yeah. But yeah, they're the best thing I ever did and ever will do.
Absolutely. Yeah. So you talk about Tara being a great law enforcement wife. I want to go back to a little story that I think almost happened. So during COVID, there's a week span where we think martial law is going to go into effect.
Right.
Do you remember this?
Yeah.
And I want to say that you and Tara and the kids were maybe up at my mom's house. We're just kind of hanging out, and you're like, I'm about to have to house some officers in your house.
Yeah.
And so Tara goes into like wife mom mode.
Yeah.
And thank goodness that didn't happen. But I'm sure that would have been an insane time at the Redman house if you had 8 officers in there.
Yeah, that was it. There were so many unknowns about that.
Right.
And then there was these mandates that were coming down the line, and we didn't know exactly what was going to happen. And of course, we didn't know anything about COVID at all, only what we've heard. And so we didn't know that. Now that we've heard, now we kind of like, well, it wasn't near as bad as we thought it was, but as what it was going to be. But we had to prepare for those things, especially as chief, or assistant chief or whatever. I had to prepare for those type of things, and so it's like, man, if this is going to get bad, I've got officers that live out of town. They're not going to be able to go home, and so we're going to have to put them somewhere,
Exactly.
And so I was like, it's like we got plenty of room at the house. We got an air mattress. We can put them up. So that was luckily it didn't come to that. But we're always prepping. We're always ready for it.
Thinking a step ahead.
That's right.
Super important.
You have to. Yeah.
So Dakota, your daughter, your youngest daughter, but your first, 17 now. If you don't know who Dakota Redman is, look her up. Absolute golf stud. Gonna go play college golf somewhere.
Yeah, for sure.
She could whoop my tail any day of the week.
Me too.
Probably from the men's tees.
Yeah.
But you started teaching her how to play when she was 3 years old, I believe. Is that right?
So it started even earlier than that.
Oh,
so
wow.
When Dakota was born, I gave away golf balls that said it's a girl on it and had her name.
Okay.
And so because I wanted her to play golf,
right.
And I love golf. And I got to think about it. I said, man, what's a sport that she could play for the rest of her life and be really good at? And so I needed a golfer and partner. And so because we didn't even have plans for my son at the time. So by the time she was 6 weeks old, I put a putter into her bed, baby bed. And so just for her to kind of roll over and kind of touch it and play with it, And so we'd go out to the range. She had like a little set of golf clubs, and we'd go out to the range and she'd hit 2 or 3 balls, and then she'd get bored with it. This is when she was probably 3 or 4 years old. And I got pictures of her. I mean, she's just really short out there playing. I'm hitting, and she's watching. And then by the time she turned 6, she was playing Coach Pitts baseball.
Okay.
And so at Truman, and she was on Mean Green, man. I think they went undefeated for like 3 seasons.
Go Mean Green.
Yeah, go Mean Green. They were really good. And there was only 2 girls on the team. Kendall Ferguson and Cody were the only 2 girls on the team. And they'd made like an all-star team. They were going to go to Maumelle to play. And they had like a 2-week break. And so during the 2-week break, I said, hey, Cody, why don't you come out here to the links and play golf with me? And she goes, okay. And so she comes out, had that same pair of clubs, and she steps up to hole number 1, and she hits it straight down the middle. Great golf swing for a 6-year-old, and hits it straight down the middle. And then she says, She turns around, looks at me, and says, "Daddy, I don't want to play baseball anymore. I want to play golf." And of course, the skies opened up. Oh, that's what I kind of manifested. I felt like I'd manifested that since she was born. And so that summer, I was working night shift at JPD at the time, and so I would get off at 6 a.m. and I would sleep until 11. And by 12 o'clock, we were out the golf course, and we would play from about 12 until 5 o'clock, and then I went back to work, later that night. Wow. So we were playing 6 hours a day for that whole summer. And so I taught her everything I knew about golf, and I really wanted to, I wanted her to know and do it right, and so we were, I was a cop pay, didn't make a whole lot of money, still don't make a whole lot of money, but back then I especially didn't. And so I wanted to coach, but all the coaches were charging like $100 an hour around here. And I was like, no, I can't afford that. And so we found a coach named Mary Murphy. She's an LPGA pro in Olive Branch, Mississippi. And yes. Mary, my wife calls her up and says, "Hey, Mary, Miss Murphy, we'd like you to coach our daughter." And she's like, "I'm full. I don't have room for her." And Tara said, "Well, let me just send you some videos." She sent her some videos. 15 minutes later, Mary calls back and says, "Hey, when can y'all be over here?"
Get her over here.
She saw something in Cody that she didn't see in kids. Right. And so from 6 all the way up until probably 12 or 13, she was our coach. I mean, she had coached her a lot at the beginning, but then, then after a while, Cody just kind of picked it up.
Right.
And so, I mean, here we are, 11 years later, whatever it is. She's got over 150 wins and 3 state championships. And last year, the last 2 years, actually, she was a medalist in 4A. And we're hoping to bring home that 4th state championship this year. Luckily, the girls' state championship is going to be right here at Sage Meadows.
So let's go.
It's going to be her home course. So I told her, I was like, "Hey, you got home field advantage. You got to take.
That's right.
You got to take advantage of that."
I hate that golf is in the middle of football season. I say that to so many people. One, because I'd be there watching.
Yeah.
And two,
I wish it was in the spring as well.
Heck, I'd love to coach it. I'd love that to be my spring sport.
Yeah.
But I got a feeling that the Bearcats could bring home another one.
They could. And that what she's having to deal with now is the 3 girls and the 4 girls that she played with, because they play 4 and they count 3 on the scores. That's how they do
right.
it. With boys, they play 5, count 4. But the girls, they all graduated this year. They're going to graduate. They're all seniors. So she's kind of she's always been the youngest on the team. And so she's kind of having to bring some other girls up. And so she says they've been practicing already. Coach Mahalla has a practice. He's a great golf coach. And he's already in. She's telling me about their scores. She said, "I think we can do it. I think we can do it." Because at first she's like, "I don't know. These girls haven't played much golf. We don't know." And so she's a fierce competitor. I think that's what makes her so good. And there's not much that bothers her on a golf course now. Used to, it would bother her a whole lot, But I read a lot of books, about Tiger and his experiences with his dad. And so, when she was younger, as she was in her backswing, I'd hit her with a golf ball or I'd knock some clubs over just to try to get her out of the mindset that, hey, if somebody's talking to my backswing, I'm not going to be able to hit a golf ball.
Right.
And so she kind of, once she gets inside those ropes, man, it just kind of like laser focus. And man, it's fun to watch. It's fun to watch her grow. She's a 3.5 handicap now. I keep up with her handicap.
Incredible.
So 3.5, 3.7, something like that. And so we're going to start getting her in some bigger tournaments. It's just really expensive. Golf is just like anything else. But she's 17. Then she's gone to this is prom night, and this is her second prom of the year. So because her boyfriend goes to Greene County Tech, and so he's a real good kid too. But it's like I'll never financially recover from these proms.
More expensive prom or golf?
Man, the prom right now, but because she already has her golf clubs. But the entries to golf is all about $150, $200 a tournament. But prom dresses cost $500, and you got to do the nails, and you got to do the hair, and you got to do the makeup and stuff. And she's beautiful. She's a beautiful kid, but and I don't mind spending it. But I give her a lot of crap about it.
Well, if you play like me and you lose 18 balls per round, golf might be a little more expensive.
Yeah,
but,
I know. Well, the balls that she plays with, she can't play with the nitros like you and I play with.
That's right.
Or the noodles. She's got to have the Strickline or the Pro V1s or whatever. So,
right.
Like Will Ryan would use.
Of course.
Stuff like
yes.
you.
You won't find a Pro V1 in my bag. There's no need. There's just absolutely no need.
point, right?
Right now.
And we have played a lot of golf together. We used to play with your dad in that tournament. Man,
Yes,
that's
some fun times.
Yeah, man, that's some of the greatest times, and that's something that she loves too. She likes what she calls party golf, where it doesn't really matter. It's just a scramble. We're just out there playing. That's some of our funnest times that we played on the golf course, just because it's like when you're either on a team, like a high school team, you got a lot of pressure, especially when you're a 1 or 2 on a high school team. That's a lot of pressure on you.
No doubt.
But when she's playing a scramble, she's like, "Oh, I'm good. I don't have that much pressure." Especially when she's got some other people like Will Ryan playing with her, So that she loves that kind of golf, and a lot of people try to pick her up on their scramble teams. So
I would too. And number 1 overall pick.
Yeah, she's hitting her driver about 240 now. So.
She probably outdrive me. Yeah, it'd be close.
Yeah, she's. But you know what? I have to attribute that to your mother. Your mother had a part of that, and Pilates.
Yes,
she started. Your mother's had done Pilates for years, and
as long as I can remember.
Yeah, and she's convinced Cody to do it, and Cody absolutely fell in love with Pilates this year, and it's really strengthening her core, and because everything that she does, she tries to get better at golf.
Right.
And so she knew she wanted to strengthen her core. And so she started doing Pilates at the advice of your mother. And, man, I'm telling you, she loves it. My boy he went to her. Well, I think he's only gone once, maybe twice. But at the end of it, he said, that's the hardest thing I've ever done.
Big Jet Ski was not a fan of Pilates.
He was not a fan of Pilates.
He said, just get me under the bench press bar. That's all I
need. Yeah. He's mentioned like 225, 230, something like that now. So he's like, hey, let me do that. He's like, don't let me. He's like, this Pilates stuff's for the birds, man. I don't want to do it anymore. So, but yeah, and of course, he, like you said, he's playing football. I'm proud of him too. He's it's a little harder sport to it's not harder than golf, but it is a lot different team. And there's, I don't know if you've seen Brooklyn, but they got like 75 kids on that team.
Right. And he started as an eighth grader, correct?
Eighth grade. And so it was I was so proud of him because he had changed schools. And, it's like when we were in Truman, I felt like, if he played, people were always talking, oh, he's chief of police son, blah, blah, blah.
So being the coach's son, same thing.
Coach's son, and so I kind of felt that, even though it may not have been the case. But when he got there, nobody knows me at Brooklyn, which is great. I love that. I can just walk in, sit down, and enjoy the football game.
Correct.
And I'm a social guy, so I talk to everybody. But, it wasn't any political things going on with it. And so I told him, I said, hey, man, this is going to be on your hard work. You work hard. And the coaches are going to recognize it. And that's exactly what happened. He was the only eighth grade starter on the offense last year.
Awesome.
Plays halfback, loves to hit people. He wants to play defensive, either defensive line or on defense too. And I think they're probably going to put him there this year as well. So, but they got so many kids, they don't have to play both ways.
Correct.
Some of them do, but not everybody. And so, but man, yeah, he loves it playing and getting stronger. If he could grow like 2 or 3 inches, he's only like 5'3". And so if I get him like 5'7", 5'8", then but he's like a little he's like a little fire plug.
Right.
He's stout. He's stout like me. So but yeah, he's doing great, and he's hanging out with a lot of the ninth graders right now, and because he's like they all go work out together, they go to church together. He's got a good group of friends. And super smart. Neither one, Cody nor Bub, have ever even made a B. They're straight A students. And school comes easy to them.
I get that from Tara.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, she's the smartest one in the house. Yeah, for sure. So
I can remember, man. I can remember Warren being on my back, crawling around my mom's living room when he was 4 years old.
Yeah.
I mean, just going to his kindergarten graduation. I mean, he's been a part of my life too. I mean, just another little brother.
Yeah.
Man, I've got this huge fear. I hope Hoxie and Brooklyn never play against each other.
Yeah.
Because I coached against my father in the fall of 2022.
Yeah.
I think it would be harder to coach against your son than my dad. Like that would be. I don't know if I'd be able to take it.
Right.
So hopefully that never happens.
Yeah. Well, if it does, it'll be fun. We'll all be there. I get to see Coach. That's that thing too. I don't ever get to go see you, but I mean. Man, what a blessing that they get to play those sports. I mean, and they're good kids too, man. I don't have to worry about them. They like hanging out at home. That's cool too for me, because I work quite a bit, and so it's like when I get home, they're there. And now, well, my daughter does. My son, he wants to move to Terry Hills because it's like that's where all his friends are. You know,
Right.
it's like, hey, can we move out there? I was like, well, let me just make a little bit more money. Some pretty big houses out there.
Stand by.
Yeah, you know, but because he's always out there, he's got a bunch of friends, you know, and he's like, I asked him, I said, what you got going on tomorrow? I got a pool party. I was like, where's this pool party at? You know, so he tells me all about it, but. You know, that's I think that's the value that we've gotten out of the school so far and out of football. Most of them are football friends as well. And, you know, it's like it's a good group of kids and I don't have to worry about them. So, but, you know, he just turned 14, you know, and obviously got took his driver test. He's a smart kid, but it took him like 3 times to pass that driver's test. It's tough.
Come on, Jessica.
Yeah, I know.
They made that thing tougher.
They made it tougher. And my daughter was the same way. Cody was the same way, and so was Taylor. But he finally passed that, so I'm teaching him how to drive right now. So
fantastic.
That's fun.
He got a Camaro recently, right?
Yeah, Camaro. Yeah, I bought him one of the legend, actually, Jeff Williams from his son Jax was selling his Camaro. He cried as we drove away. So that he's had since he was like 16. So
Right.
yeah, but he's about to have a kid, so he had to get him a bigger vehicle. So I can't put a child seat in the back of that Camaro.
No doubt.
You can't. I can't even fit back there.
So now Will's had a Camaro, I've had a Camaro, and Bub's got one. So,
Yeah.
so all 3 White brothers have had a Camaro.
There we go. Yeah, I love that. That's
Yeah.
right. That's awesome.
You know, so we've talked about so much. You know, you mentioned
Yeah.
Will earlier, and you know, for those of you who don't know Jon, which you know, our families go so far back, and you know, there's a special connection there, and you know, that could be a whole nother episode. You know, talking about when Will was a senior in high school, changing his number to Eric's number.
Oh, that was awesome.
That was one of the coolest moments of my life, man.
Yeah, that was amazing, and you know, Eric meant so much to the city of Truman, to us as a family, and y'all's family. I know y'all didn't really win, but I believe your mother taught him in school. You know,
and Dad coached him,
and Dad coached him. You know, so I mean, there was a huge connection there, and so. And for the audience, you know, Eric Smallwood was killed in Iraq in 2007. That's my wife's brother. And he was number 20, and Will Ryan changed his number to 20 senior year to honor him. Man, that was those things when people still do stuff for him, and you know, it's like, and he's been gone almost 20 years now, and that meant so much to us. And my wife, you know, she's been through it. You know, I mean, Eric died, and then JT died in 2019, her other brother, and then her mother died and her father died, and so she just only has step siblings now left. And you know, so having you guys, and it will never fill the void, but at least she sees you guys as family, because she's lost a lot of her family, you know, and so. And I think your mom and her kind of connected at football. You know, I mean, your mom would wear her Friday night jeans. You know, that she wore. I think she wore the same pair of jeans
every night
to every football game. You know, and they kind of connected over that, and they've been best friends forever. You know, and now we spend holidays together. And but yeah, I just him Will Ryan honoring Eric is a highlight. Man, that was awesome. It shows the character of Will Ryan as well. You know, willing to do that. Of course. You know, so we appreciate it very much.
No doubt. And so we've been, like I was saying, we've been this close for this long. You know, I had you read Bible verses at my wedding.
Yeah, at your wedding. That was awesome.
And that was a super cool moment.
Man, what a cool wedding you had.
Remember tearing up. It was great.
Yeah, well, you had a great wedding. And
you took over you were the dadgum starting lineup announcer. You just took that over.
We had to announce everybody coming in, you know, and you had world champions there, you know, and you were Liberty Bowl champions, and then we had national champions with your brother, and then Coach Cody's state champions in golf.
Coach Wimberly, state champion basketball coach. We took that picture, and that was one of the talking points that I had. Is like, you know, you had Gavin, who just won a World Series with the Los Angeles Dodgers. Gavin Stone, shout out to my guy. Ready to see you healthy, by the way, brother.
You know, he almost won a bowling championship, or he did. He was telling me.
Was it tennis or bowling?
Was it tennis or bowling? One of those. It was one of those minor sports he was telling me.
I think it was tennis.
Did he win a tennis state championship? He probably did. He's a winner.
Well,
I heard he was just as good at basketball as he was baseball.
Oh, my gosh. He was cold-blooded.
High school.
You know, and you can ask Lee Wimberly one night. You know, he was guarded by – so Gavin's a groomsman at our wedding, you know, playing for the Los Angeles Dodgers. You go back to when he's in high school. He's playing basketball at Riverside against Manila. Lee Wimberly was the head coach, and he's officiating the wedding. Who's guarding Gavin? Matthew May, who's also a groomsman at my wedding. And I think Gavin put up like 49 on Matthew May or something that night, and so he was a stud. But in that picture you got a World Series champion, Gavin. You got your daughter who just won the golf state championship. You got Will, who just won the national championship at Harding. And then Coach Wimbo just won the state championship at Manila. And then I just come off the Liberty Bowl.
Hey, Liberty Bowl championship. Hey, that's a big deal.
It was pretty cool, man.
Yeah.
It was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And one thing I haven't talked about much on this podcast, how fast that week was. Because remember, I coached in the Liberty Bowl on Friday.
Yeah.
I've got 8 days till I'm married.
Yeah.
And it was super fast.
It
was super fun time.
What a great week of your life, though.
Yes.
I mean, it's it's going to be hard to find it. Well, when you have kids, that'll change probably. But until then, that's going to be a highlight. For
Mom always talks about from right there. If you go back 13 months, so much awesome stuff happened in 13 months. That picture we talked about of those champions, that was in 13 or 15 months. What a great time period or just life period for the people that were surrounded by it. It was awesome.
For sure, man. That's awesome. It's like, and like we talked before, you surround yourself with winners.
Of course.
You really do. And you that's one thing I've always been envious of you. You have friends all over. You got a ton of guy friends that you guys hang out with, and you guys go to the races, and you with your Uncle Bubba, you go, I mean, you got friends everywhere, and because you don't ever burn a bridge,
right? Never.
It's like you're like, hey, and you guys get together, and I love that, man. That's awesome.
And I've made friends in so many different places, and I'm not bragging about that. It's just kind of the way I am. I want to talk, I want to meet new people. I think that's what life's about. But I have left places and gone from job to job or school to school, and I've never left on bad terms.
Right.
It's just kind of the way I've carried myself. I've never been angry at anyone, and so I think that's kind of where that comes from.
Yeah.
It's just not burning those bridges. You don't talk bad when you leave a place because it's a part of you.
That's right.
No matter good, bad, or ugly. Heck, I win 9 games in my first year at Manila, and 3 or 4 the next, and then I go to Waldron and don't win any. But that's still such an important part of my life, and it's something I'll never regret.
Yeah. I was at the state golf tournament in Cherokee. It was Cody's first state golf tournament in Cherokee Village. And Waldron was there.
Wow.
And you were there. That was the year you were there.
Yeah, okay. Yeah,
So I was actually talking to the guy from Waldron because he was wearing the orange, right?
Yeah, like an orange.
Yeah. And I said, hey, Coach Kane White? He goes, absolutely. We love him. We love Kane White. I said, we do too. So we kind of got in confidence because his daughter was playing in the tournament or whatever. But
awesome.
So I mean, it's
small world.
You're going to meet people all over because of the seeds you've sown and the jobs you've worked, and you let those grow. And law enforcement is the same way.
Of course.
It's like for us, it's not really what we know; it's who we know and how to get in contact. It's like because crime doesn't know borders, and so if there's something that happened in Truman, and then they come to Jonesboro, then I'm able to call people in Jonesboro and get taken care of. So same way with coaching too. It's like. I'm sure you lean heavy on some of the assistant coaches and coaches that you've worked with in the past.
Oh, no doubt.
The connections you made at the University of Arkansas. So, man, that's just and that's awesome as well.
Right.
When you went there, and so now these guys that are playing in the NFL. It's
yes.
Like we go over to your house on Sunday. You're cheering for guys that you're like you may be one of the coolest guys I know, Kane.
I think you're one of the coolest guys I know.
You've grown into one of the coolest people that I know, just because it's like we used to ask, it's like I remember we was at a get together at your house, and he said, "Who's the most famous person in your phone?" And we were asking everybody that, and Lindsay Tedder's there, and she goes, Jerry Jones, and we're like, oh, nobody's going to beat that.
No.
Nobody's beating Jerry Jones. But now you can beat some of that. You can
Bobby P would be close.
Yeah, absolutely.
Coach Pittman, man, that's up there. Not quite Jerry Jones.
Yeah, you'll get there though.
One day Dakota Redman's probably going to be the most famous person on my phone.
Me too.
But man, this has been a blast.
Yeah.
I've enjoyed this. It's thank you so much. But there's something that I'm starting to do, especially when I've got guests in studio, to kind of end this off with a little bit of rapid fire, some kind of stuff off the rip. So I've got 3 for you. Number 1, your dream golf round. What course and your 3 partners?
Oh, it's Augusta National.
Of course, easy.
I would be That's the I've never been to a Masters. I want to go.
Me too.
I really every Masters that I watch, I give Dakota. So Dakota was in. she was about to be in the finals of the drop, chip, and putt when I think she was 8 or 9.
I remember that.
And she missed one putt. If she'd have made that last putt, then we would have gotten to go to the Masters. And so every time the Masters is on, when as soon as she walks in, I'm like, hey, look, they're at the Masters. We could have been there. She, Dad, you still could have talked about that. But so I would definitely have. Man, it's like I'd have Cody with me, obviously,
of course,
and as a foursome, man, I don't know. That's really hard for me because I have heroes. Tiger's my hero. Jack Nicklaus my hero. But I would want some people that we're going to have fun with, so I'd bring you and Will Ryan with me.
Oh, come on, man! Hey, I would love to play Augusta. So if that happens,
we're there.
Hey, I'll walk if I have to.
We're going to have to lean on her to do it because none of us are going to make it to the Masters.
That's right.
If she goes to the women's national that they have there, then we'll have to lean on her. But yeah, I mean, obviously, Augusta. We've been to Pinehurst.
That's right. Yeah,
Pinehurst number 2, and where they played the U.S. Open a couple years ago, where Bryson won, and. Man, that would be a dream round. Obviously, my dad doesn't play golf. My brother doesn't really either. And so if they did, then I would bring them. But you guys are just as close, when it comes to golf as they are. So, yeah, definitely
right.
You guys. Yeah, we'd have a good time.
Oh, no doubt.
Your dad would have to tag along just because he's fun.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and he would love it, because
Yes.
It's like you hit it on the green, it's birdie. What's he
automatic.
Say? He's like, just get it on the green. It's automatic birdie.
Automatic
birdie.
My dad's best quote, man, and I use this now in football. I use it in basketball. I use it when I play golf. He'll be getting ready to hit a shot. He'll say, hey, y'all like golf? We're like, yeah. You're going to love this.
You're gonna love this.
And he'll stick it within 5 feet.
He's such an athlete.
He's incredible.
He played like one time a year, and it's just smoking all of us, and you're just like, he's an unbelievable athlete.
If I played like my dad and my brother, I'd play every single day.
Yeah, I know. It's, of course, I was telling Will Ryan the other day, he's really getting into guns now. So I guess since he's making
big gun guy,
he's
yes, he
making
is.
some money now. So he's like, oh, I'm gonna buy some guns. So
power plant money, baby.
Yeah, power plant money. I said, welcome to your new addiction. You're gonna forget all about golf. But no, I'm glad he's doing that too. That's cool. I don't think his wife or his soon-to-be wife is very. Shouldn't like that too much, but we got to get her on the range and shoot a little bit. Maybe
hey, shout out to Will for getting engaged. I don't know if we've talked about that on the podcast. I don't know if I have, but hey, little brother got engaged. Let's go.
Absolutely.
Let's go.
Yeah, Chloe's a great girl.
Number 2, rapid fire question. Huge Dallas Cowboys fan.
Absolutely.
Big time Cowboys fan.
Love it.
Favorite Cowboy of all time.
Emmitt Smith. Smith has been he's a rushing champion. Good character. You never really had to worry about Emmitt. I love him, and I love the '90s Cowboys. That's what I kind of cut my teeth on, and grew up on. Of course, they hadn't won one since the '90s. So, but man, those years with Michael Irvin and Troy Aikman and Emmitt Smith, man, just when they win the championships, it's like that. Those were. So my dad, like I said, my dad was a preacher. And I don't know if my dad watches this, he'll know now. But I used to have, and we always had church on Sunday night, and always going to church when the Super Bowl was on and the Cowboys were playing, and I would run a radio from my hip up into I always wore a suit jacket to church, and I would sit there and I'd listen.
No
to the
way!
I listen to the
what
Cowboys.
A legend!
Because I wanted to listen to the Cowboys, man. I was like, I love God, I love my dad, I love preachers, I love all that, but I love the Cowboys too. So I would listen. I remember listening to the game on a like a little radio, little Walkman radio, just because. But yeah, Emmitt Smith is my favorite Cowboy.
How cool, man! Yeah, that's a great story.
I love good runners. I love the running game. We talk about running the ball all the time. So,
absolutely.
But that's one of my favorite parts of the game, and so that's why I love it.
Run that thing, run the ball.
Absolutely.
Y'all have said it for years. That's what we do, baby.
Yeah.
So, you talked about the carnivore diet, when we started. I wrote this down earlier today. You were on it for a while.
I was.
What's the most exotic meat you've ever tried? Any elk, any shark?
Yeah, I've had elk. Okay. I've had any shark.
Me either.
Man, I'm from the country, and so we used to have at my church, my dad, we had this wild feast of, and just different kinds of meat. And so I've tried turtle.
Wow.
Beaver meat, and rattlesnake.
Oh my gosh!
And then the possum. I've had possum before.
I've actually had possum too. Shout out to Greg White for that one.
Real greasy.
Yes.
Yeah. But those are kind of the most exotic. I haven't had any, anything really crazy, but I would eat all that again. I mean, that's what I have a few things that my wife makes fun of me for, and one of those is I really like Bravo reality shows,
Okay.
like Secret Lives of Mormon Wife. That's not Bravo, but then like the boat show, Below Deck. I like that a lot.
Right.
I watch Southern Charm. But another thing that she makes fun of me for watching is Naked and Afraid. And the reason I like that show, I don't really like the fact that they're naked, but I do like the fact that
they're afraid.
It's a survival. It's a survival
Exactly.
show. know, and so I actually watched an episode before I came over here today.
Nice.
And man, it's like just to get those people will eat anything,
Whatever.
They're killing mice to eat it, you know, and it's just like when you're hungry, you need that protein. And that's what that's what the carnivore is all about. It's all about protein. It's like and I always talk about vegetables and I always say that vegetables are trying to kill you. And everybody makes fun of me for that, but they actually are, because they're a living organism.
Correct.
And their only defense mechanism is poison.
Right.
And they don't want to die, so they poison people. So, it's like mushrooms, for example. And it's like there's like 100 different types of mushrooms that you can eat that would really hurt you and kill you. But you're telling me there's only like 5 or 6 that you can eat and it's going to be okay? Well, maybe they're just killing us slowly.
Get out of here.
They're probably just killing us slowly.
Right.
Because they're, so I really don't like vegetables very much, so I make that excuse, and I think it's insane that anybody would even recognize the fact that vegetables are trying to kill us.
I don't like fruits, so I'll just say that about fruits.
Yeah, fruits
it's going to
kill us as well. Yeah, it's going to kill us. So, but man, I'll tell you, when I was on carnivore, it's the best I'd felt in many, many, many years. I mean, just getting that protein, the fat protein, the ribeye steak, and the satiety in it where I wasn't hungry, and so I ate meat, eggs, and cheese. That's all I ate for like 3 years. I dropped like 50 pounds. And then I got off of it and then started eating, junk again and kind of gained my weight back. And now back on my health journey. And I'm a person that really needs to be healthy because I do have a chronic kidney disease. And I don't want to go on dialysis. So I'm kind of fighting that fight. But so I got my blood pressure down, and being a cop, man, and a chief, my blood pressure was always through the roof anyway,
Correct.
And then I had that disease on top of it. And so now I've got that all straightened out. I feel a lot better. I'm able to, my mind is a lot more clear. But, it's just as any diet, you can go on the carnivore, you can be vegan, or you can be whatever. But I think the best is just to have it balanced. Whatever it is balanced, because you're going to get tired of whatever you're eating.
Exactly.
And then you're just going to fall off the wagon. So for me, man, I guess the most exotic would probably be like a turtle or something,
Right.
But turtle meat was good. It was good. Beaver meat was good. Of course, I deer hunt, I turkey hunt. Mm-hmm. Turkey season's getting ready to come up. And so I killed a turkey in 24, and it's pretty much all I've thought about since then. I mean, it's
gotta go get you another long beard, man.
Yeah, I know it, man. Absolutely. So I'm excited to hit the woods again. And that's a good thing about working as a police instructor. We only have 2 academies, so I'm on a 9-month contract. So I get 3 months there where I'm not going to be working. Of course, Kara's going to make me work somewhere. Of course. I'm going to be working somewhere. But I'm not going to be having to go into class every day. So awesome. I'm excited about that too. And especially I'm going to be able to hang out with my kids more, during the summer.
That's great.
And that's, like I said, they're the best thing I ever did. And I didn't mention Taylor too much. I'm proud of her as well. I mean, she's grown up. She got a college degree. Doesn't really know what she wants to do with her life, but she's working at a pharmacy now, and maybe she'll be like Bubba. Maybe she'll be a pharmacist.
Hey, works with my good buddy Cole Sears' wife, Brittany.
Yeah,
there at the Bone Family Pharmacy.
Yeah,
so
I think she's enjoying it. And so
you talk about a fun-loving person, though.
Yeah,
absolutely.
She's
just such a fun. She was in my wedding too. It just once again shows how close we are.
Great person, great personality,
and
everybody loves to be around her. And She was the one I kind of cut my teeth on raising kids,
right.
Even though she wasn't mine. She was with me for, I've been with her a long time.
That was your trial run.
Yeah, that was
before
my trial
Dakota.
Yeah. So hopefully we got it all figured out.
No doubt. Well, I think you do, man. I really do.
We're working on it for sure.
That's right.
Yeah.
Man, like I said, I can't thank you enough for driving over here, even though you were kind of already over in the area. Thank you for coming, man. In this day and age, this world needs role models for young men that aren't necessarily family members. God-fearing, tough role models, and that's what you've been for me. And we've grown into family.
I appreciate that. And I love you. I love you like my own son. I love you like a brother. Man, it's just it's pretty amazing when God puts your families together so that you you can grow. And
Right.
man, I'm happy for you, man. I'm glad this thing's taken off,
Thank
man. It's
you.
like this is my first podcast, so
Let's go.
yeah,
Yes.
I'm proud to be here, and maybe someday I'll have one, and you'll be one of my first guests.
I'm ready to roll,
let's
baby.
do it.
Thank you so much for coming, man.
Yeah.
I enjoyed the heck out of it. I love you. God's calculated everything to this moment right here. I truly believe that.
Sure.
So,
For sure.
man, thank you for everything you've done for me.
Yeah.
And maybe we'll do this again one
Let's
day.
do it. I'm proud of you.
Episode 19 with Jon Redman.
Let's
We'll
do
see
it.
you next time.
All right.